What if the reason you feel emotionally drained so often isn't because of what people do to you, but because of how easily you let them affect you? What if becoming emotionally unshakable isn't about changing the world around you, but about changing the way you respond to it? That answer might just shift your entire approach to life, and we'll uncover it together at the end of this video. In the chaos of modern life, people often walk around with their emotional defenses down. A single word can ruin their day. A small inconvenience can spiral into a personal crisis. Someone else's mood, opinion, or reaction can trigger anxiety, anger, or doubt. It's as if we've given the keys to our peace of mind to the entire world, and then we wonder why we feel powerless. The Stoics understood this trap centuries ago. They knew that the moment you allow external events to dictate your internal state, you lose control of your life. And so, they train not for comfort or applause, but for inner strength, for emotional stability, for the kind of resilience that doesn't flinch when the world gets loud. Emotional strength is not about becoming numb. It's not about pretending that nothing affects you. It's about becoming so clear on what truly matters and what doesn't, that you no longer waste energy reacting to every provocation. It's about knowing yourself so deeply that the noise outside cannot shake the calm inside. That's what the Stoics meant when they talked about tranquility, not the absence of chaos, but the presence of an unshakable core. But how do you build that kind of core? It begins with what you choose to give meaning to. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In other words, your suffering is rarely about the event itself. It's about the story you attach to it. And that story can be rewritten. Someone insults you. Do you immediately react with anger? Or do you pause and realize that their words are a reflection of them, not of you? Someone rejects you. Do you spiral into self-doubt? Or do you see it as redirection, not failure? Something doesn't go your way. Do you complain and blame? Or do you ask what this situation can teach you? The Stoic understands that between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies freedom. The freedom to choose how to feel, how to act, how to carry yourself. Another key to becoming emotionally unshakable is practicing voluntary discomfort. This may sound extreme, but it's actually one of the most powerful Stoic techniques. By deliberately exposing yourself to small forms of discomfort, cold, hunger, silence, solitude, you train your mind not to panic when life throws real challenges your way. Seneca wrote about sleeping on the floor and eating simple food, not because he had to, but because he wanted to remind himself that he could, that his peace wasn't tied to luxury or ease, that he was stronger than his circumstances. Modern people are addicted to comfort. We confuse convenience with safety, silence with danger, resistance with hostility. So when real life demands strength, we collapse. The Stoic mindset is the opposite. It seeks friction, not because it loves pain, but because it knows that strength is only built under pressure. And when you know you can endure discomfort, your emotional reactions become measured, calm, precise. Another powerful Stoic insight is the practice of imagining worst-case scenarios, not to live in fear, but to prepare the mind. This is called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. By imagining that you could lose your health, your job, your reputation, even your life, you train your mind to value what you have, to stop clinging to outcomes, and to stop reacting out of fear. Because when you accept that loss is a part of life, it no longer controls you. Emotionally unshakable people also master the art of silence. Not just outer silence, but inner silence. They don't jump to conclusions. They don't need to speak just to fill space. They listen more than they talk. They wait before reacting. They observe before responding. Why? Because silence gives clarity. It's in stillness that truth reveals itself. Most people regret what they said, not what they kept to themselves. The Stoics knew this, and that's why they trained their tongue through their mind. When the mind is still, the voice is wise. We must also address pride, because ego is often the root of emotional instability. The need to be right, the fear of being wrong, the obsession with image. These are traps, and the Stoics dismantled them with humility. They saw themselves not as masters, but as students of life, always learning, always observing, always questioning their own thoughts. When someone disagreed with them, they didn't see it as an attack. They saw it as an opportunity to refine their perspective. That mindset doesn't just reduce conflict, it cultivates wisdom. And then there is time. The Stoic respects time deeply. They don't waste it dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. They live in the present, not in some abstract spiritual sense, but in a fiercely practical one. They ask, what is within my control right now? And they act on that. Everything else is dismissed. They don't argue with reality. They don't try to bend the universe to their will. They adapt, adjust, respond. That flexibility makes them unbreakable. Now, we return to the question we began with. What if the reason you feel emotionally drained isn't because of what people do to you, but because of how easily you let them affect you? The answer is, that's exactly what's happening. You are not weak. You are simply untrained. But that can change. And it starts by deciding to no longer be a slave to external events. To no longer let your emotions be at the mercy of noise, drama, or other people's chaos. To train yourself, daily, silently, deliberately, in the art of control, clarity, and calm. Becoming emotionally unshakable doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming wise. It means responding with strength instead of reacting with panic. It means choosing silence over impulse, focus over distraction, and reason over ego. That is the Stoic path. And the more you walk it, the more unshakable you become. Not because the world changed, but because you finally did.